Well, if you couldn't tell by now, or any of the clips before this, it is a Ek Civic Hatchback. Originally, this car was listed for $600, and I went and looked at it. The guy said that there was a fuel pump problem, and I bought a fuel pump just to see if I could fix it. I didn't fix it, obviously, so I wasn't even gonna buy it at $600. Well, the guy really wanted to sell it, apparently, so he just dumped the price down to $350. I was still like on the edge about it. I was like, I don't know, man, I'm gonna have to do a lot to like get it home, this and that. And he was like, I'll do $300. And I was like, you can't even buy a shell for $300. $300 for an Ek hatch and it rolls, you know, you can't beat that, man. But now I gotta show you guys everything that's wrong with it, and I gotta get y'all's opinion on what to do with the car, because I'm kind of stuck at the moment. Front bumper definitely been replaced, and it's pretty scratched up. There's a big dent in it. Clear coat's faded bad. There's been some damage repair here and on the rear quarter. Now the title is a rebuilt title, so it has been wrecked before, but it seems like they did a pretty decent job on fixing it. You can tell it's been resprayed. Just based on like looking at it first glance, it seems like they did a pretty decent job at repairing this. I mean, everything kind of lines up pretty decent. You come to the rear end here. I'm guessing it got hit like right here somewhere, because that's been repainted, that's been repainted, that's also been repainted. And then if you come around to the driver's side, it's, you know, more clear coat damage. There's a couple dents. You know, this quarter's actually pretty decent. The bumper's a little beat up. And from everything I can tell, there's no rust on the car. Like I said earlier, man, you can't get these shells for $300. I mean, you probably could, but they're probably not worth a damn. The exterior is probably the best part about the car, but now we got to dig into what's actually wrong with the car. So let's start out with the most obvious. The interior, minus the dash, has been completely stripped. It's got literally nothing in here. You can hear the fuel slosh around. The owner before the owner I got it from said they was gonna make it into a race car, and you see how that went. So interior stripped. It's also an automatic. That's a big bummer. Probably the third bad thing about it, it has a shit ton of miles on it. For it to have that much miles, no rust, and the body's relatively decent, that's not bad at all. But now that I show you guys the exterior and the interior, you kind of get a feel for like the quality of the chassis. I'm gonna show you guys the motor. So what I was told this is a, well, you can see it right there. It's a D16Y8, but they said it has a D16Y7 head on it. Now, you Honda boys correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the Y8 is the one with the VTEC and the Y7 is the one without the VTEC. So that means this motor doesn't have VTEC. So that means we have a automatic rebuilt title, non-VTEC Civic hatchback. Now, it's definitely not the best Civic hatchback you've ever seen on YouTube, but for $300, it is pretty much what you expect it to be. So to give a brief overview of the motor and what's wrong with it is, I mean, don't have a battery, needs some other odds and ends, but the main issue for getting it running is it doesn't have fuel. Replaced the fuel pump whenever I first looked at it. That didn't fix it, so it's not getting fuel to it, so I'm thinking it's something electrical. The motor did want to start up. He used starter fluid on it, and it would turn over fine, and it fired a couple of times, but nothing to get it really going on its own power. So now that you guys have like a brief overview of the car and kind of seen everything that's wrong with it, how much money I put into it, and where I'm kind of sitting with it, I want to know what you guys think. I want to make this like a community build, or a community, like, I want to make this like a community driven like opportunity, I guess you could say. So my first option is I keep this car, I fix it up, and I make it nice again, and I make it my new daily. It definitely has the potential to be fixed again, and it could be very nice because the body's straight. It just needs a little bit of time, love, and care. A little TLC, if you will. Here's a little bit better view of the hatch area. Absolutely nothing. And here's option number 2. I take this car, I fix it and do whatever I can with it, and I resell it. I could definitely resell it as is and probably make a couple $100s on it, but I could also probably fix the car and sell it for a lot more money. And I think I could easily make like $500 to $1,000 on the car, whether as is or potentially with fixing it. And with that money, I would take it and reinvest it into my 240SX project. If you've not seen that, it is a 1993 240SX with a RB20 DET in it. The whole point of that car is to rebuild it by doing side hustles, and this would play perfectly into that. But this is also a car I've been really wanting for a long time. and I do need a daily to replace the Miata. So really stuck on what to do. I could fix this car, have a decent daily, gas saver, and I could give the Miata a little bit more love, or I could resell it, keep daily in the Miata for a little while, and fix my 240SX, or at least buy the parts I need for my 240SX. And I hope you guys are as excited as I am for this build, because $300 for a Civic hatchback, I have a shit ton of different content I could do with it. So let me know option number 1 or option number 2. Should I keep it or should I flip it? Let me know. Now, regardless of either of those options, I'm definitely going to try to fix it, because like the motor turns over, it did fire a couple times, so I could have a running $300 Civic if I just work on it a little bit. But that's all I wanted to know in this video, and next video I'm going to be digging into it, so stay tuned for that one. Subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, boys, stay fixated and stay focused. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.